What's going on, collectors? Optical 20 here for another video review. This time it's Legolas from Asmus Collectibles, and I want to thank our friends from Asmus for making this review possible. And if you are interested in purchasing this figure, just check the link down below. It'll take you to Big Bad Toy Store. It's still available, the deluxe version, and also head over to Asmus Toys. You'll find a variety of 1/6 collectible out there. Start off with a box. Same packaging as other Lord of the Rings. If you haven't checked them out, check out my videos. I have a dedicated channel just for Lord of the Rings. I'm a huge fan. The back of the box, you can see there's a thank you for choosing Asmus Collectibles, to optimize preservation. I would suggest you read those. It's some pretty good information out there for taking care of your 1/6 collectible. If you haven't know yet, but Asmus Collectibles, their clothing is a bit different. I just got their Devil May Cry, which is pretty awesome figure as well. But I don't know, there's something about their clothing that's just top notch. Something different than 1/6. I guess that's their specialty, is just the overall look of the figure when it comes to its outfit. You can see there's an inlay right there. You saw the inlay box. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When I first saw the promotional pictures of Legolas, I wasn't blown away. I saw that picture, I was like, okay, looks great. I've been wanting a Legolas because for a while now. They got Aragorn, but not Legolas and Gimli. I wasn't exactly blown away, the prototype pictures, but it's totally different from what you're gonna get. It's the exact opposite of what other companies does. Other companies gives you a great prototype, and then in hand kind of like, yeah, it's not too good. This is the exact opposite. Don't get me wrong, it's not a perfect figure, but it's certainly better than what the prototype presents. It's actually great. I don't know, I like it. Maybe because I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, but even as not, I've seen a lot of 1/6 collectible, but this is pretty good. So you got some variety of hands. You got some arrow holding hands, and also there's a hand specifically just for holding two bows, so 2 arrows, not bows, but yeah, it's pretty awesome. You can recreate that there. And also it comes with this handle for his daggers. I don't know if you can call it dagger or sword. It's kind of like in between. So as you can see, it's kind of cut off. This is the full-sized one, and this is the cut-off one. Full-size and cut-off ones. The cut-off ones are basically just for display, so you can put them on his back, so it gives you the illusion. Because how it's set up is that the blade is gonna have a hard time going inside. I wouldn't even attempt it. I don't think it's meant for that. But this is to simulate that. That the actual blade is inside. The blades are not die cast, but it doesn't affect anything. Actually, I think it's better because it's not too heavy. It doesn't get that feeling that it's metal, but the look is there. As you can see, if only my camera would there you go, would focus, you can see some nice details when it comes to his sword right here, dagger. It's pretty nice. Even the handle kind of simulates a wooden effect with some elvish designs. Let's move forward here. He got from what I read, there's 10 arrows. That's a lot of arrows, so it makes his quiver really looks full, which it's really good as well. You can see here the arrow tips nicely detailed as well. They're pretty long. I do have a bard as well, so I got a bunch of archers in my arsenal here. You can see that the arrows, if you see on the top, it has some indentation right there, so that's where you're gonna pull the string. You're gonna put the string at the end, and the bow itself is I would say functional, because if you really want to, you can kind of shoot some arrows with it. It does come with I don't know if this is a nylon string, maybe from fishing or whatnot, but it's nice. You can stretch it out. I wouldn't do it so much. This one looks like a wooden. I didn't really pay attention. I haven't. It's been a while since I saw the movie. I was trying to watch it, but I'm so excited to open up this figure and do a review for you guys. But yeah, it has this elvish, design, kind of like carved up on the wood, kind of thing. And he also comes with this cloak, which is initially I'm thinking to myself, I'm not gonna use this ever, because of his quiver on his back. I was like, I'm gonna have a hard time pulling this out because on the manual that I got, it really doesn't have any instructions. So right off the bat, I was like, I dismissed it. It's like I'm not gonna use it, but I'll show you later that it's pretty awesome as well. So as far as the outfit, of course, it's always phenomenal when it comes to Asmus. They have this certain something. I mean, you won't see it in this figure, but they use different media, some materials that other companies don't. And I guess it serves as how do I say this? Their outfits are aesthetically nice, but it's also functional because there's some outfits, from a different company that it looks nice, but it hinders any sort of articulation when it comes to the figure. There's like this Legolas. It has layers of clothing, yet it doesn't prevent me from moving around, like splitting his legs, bending, bending his knees. There's something about the materials that they used, and also they don't flake. So it's very important, I would say, when it comes to 1/6, because that's why we don't. That's why at least I don't collect statues, is because I want to change their poses. Sometimes I want to make it dynamic, especially for somebody like Legolas, who is agile. He jumps around. For example, his pants. It's a thin material. It's kind of like I don't know how to describe this. It's soft, but it doesn't look soft when you look at it from afar. So with that material, it allows him to have some articulation on his knees when you want him to be shooting arrows, kneeling, or riding a horse if you have the 1/6 horse or anything like that, and not have to worry about your pants splitting because you're forcing it too much. So I don't know, the best way to describe his pants is it does have this appearance where it's kind of thick, but it really isn't. Like a PJ, I would say, or this cloth that you used if you want to wipe your glasses. It's pretty excellent. Also, this green clothing that he does have. Look at those details. That's why I love 1/6, man. This little details. It's this like a peacock. Spread their wings and fly like a peacock. Yeah, it's reference to a movie. Never mind. You can see it all fits the 10 arrows, the 10 bows that he does have. Arrows. I keep on saying bow. Yeah, and look at that. That's nice. Details right there. Some scratches, some weathering effect on the handles, and this is what scared me. So you can see this handle right here is this quiver. I was like, I'm not gonna remove that. Even the belt. He was like, okay, there's the belt, and then it's wrapping around his body. I was like, before I can take this out, I got some figures like Bane. If you want to put it on his coat, you gotta take out his entire jacket. And I was like, okay, that's a pain. It's like, I'm not gonna go through that, so I'm not even gonna attempt to use this cloak. And I looked it in some review, and somebody's complaining. I wouldn't say complaining, but he mentioned that it is a pain, to put that on. It's like, okay, I'm gonna pass on that. But in reality, it isn't. It took me a good, I don't know, maybe a minute or two to put the cloak on. And also the cloak has this wire on it that it's pretty cool. I haven't attempted to put it over his head, but I've seen somebody does it, so I know it is possible. So you can see here that the just the outfit is top notch. Look at those, down to the details. The boot is also separated, so you have some ankle pivot. And now we're gonna take a look at the head sculpt. I would say, look at that. That's pretty accurate head sculpt right there. That is Orlando Bloom. Wow. Look at that. Just the shape of the face, his nose, his eyes. The hair, yes, okay, maybe you could use some improvement, but they did Aragorn just recently for the slim version, and they changed it from sculpted hair to a rooted hair, and what a difference. That Aragorn, I've seen it in hand. I don't have it yet. I should have pre-ordered it, but I didn't. But I'm for sure I'm gonna get that. We got Legolas here. Boromir I believe he's already out. He got some rooted hair version as well, and sculpted hair, so you have the option there if you want to. But this guy, just the head sculpt itself, because I've seen somebody customized this Legolas with the rooted hair, and it looks great. And I know the challenges that they faced. Asmus is pretty transparent on their Facebook page, and they always listen to suggestions when it comes to improving their craft. That's why they re-released Frodo You know, they could have milked this franchise if they want to, but they're actually selling separate head sculpt, just an upgrade from their Aragorn. And down the line, if they ever do it for Legolas, I'll be the first one in line. But I wish they would keep this head sculpt right here, because you can see it is really strong. It has the great likeness to Orlando Bloom. The lips, you know, his small lips, his nose, shape of the face, no complaints here whatsoever. I think it's a great looking figure. Maybe a little bit more detail on the hair. That's the only thing that I can think of as far as this head sculpt is concerned. But look at that skin tone as well. It's kind of shiny. Really represents Orlando Bloom. You know, the elf in him in that sculpt. So much different than the prototype that they shown. It's such a vast improvement. And you know, moving on to some poses and you're gonna have some fun posing this figure, because like I mentioned, it does not have any limitations as far as what you could and couldn't do because of, you know, his outfit. So his outfit is great and also movable, so you're gonna have some fun. Look at this pose right here. This is probably my favorite pose. He's holding the arrow. I've seen somebody does the double arrow, because he does come with a hand like that, and that's pretty awesome. I suck at posing in that one, but I've seen somebody on YouTube who pulled it off way better than I did. And I'm gonna study that picture, and I'm gonna, you know, post it on my Instagram. And if you haven't followed you know, me on Instagram, go ahead and do so. I post pictures in there a lot, maybe not all the time, but you know, pretty frequently. Look at this, really rotating him with his arrows. That 10 arrows really makes a difference, because it looks full. It looks like he's ready for battle. So you can see the hair right here. This is what I'm talking about earlier. He does come with a sculpted hair, and it's long, but it won't get in your way. You know, it's soft enough that it's not brittle that it's gonna break, but it's also not that soft that, you know, it's kind of jello-y, but it is poseable. You know, it is poseable. It would look some, you know, some angles, but if you're taking a photograph of this figure, if you position them nicely, it would work in your favor. This is the double arrow that I'm talking about. I failed on this one because I just kind of tucked it in his thumb. He's probably gonna get hurt once he unleashes this arrow, which is not good for him. But yeah, this is my fault. I saw somebody, I think they kind of propped it on the bow itself, so I'm gonna study that. But it is possible he got the hands for that. He got the specialized hands for this pose. Yeah, I'm having so much fun posing this figure. I also have a few villains in my hand. I got Grishnok and this big guy. I forgot his name. So I got also the guy in a horse. I forgot his name, but I should have bought it all when it came out. They were in Big Bad Toy Store for a while for $150. The Witch King. I didn't get it. I'm kicking myself for that, and I hope they revisit that figure again. You know, because it's been released a few years back, and you know, we're almost there, guys. We're getting closer and closer to the Fellowship. We only need to wait for Gimli, and I've seen Gimli's preview on, I think, SDCC or something like that. It looks great. His beard is, you know, it's phenomenal. And you know, another post where he's getting some arrows, so you can easily pull his arm back, you know, kind of reaching for that arrow in his back. And this is quite a reach. If this was a different figure like Hawkeye, I would have you know, messed up his outfit already, maybe created some holes or damaged the stitching. But with this guy, you know, there's a lot of movement that you could do. There's a lot of poses that you can pull him off, and it will be great. You can see that's down to the details on the side of his clothing. I love this figure, man. Yeah. Boromir with this, I saw his outfit as well. He got this nice leather vest that's light, so he's movable as well. So this is him holding his dagger or sword or whatever you want to call this. You know, this is his kind of pose where he's holding one in the right way and one kind of underhand him, ready to fight some orcs. There you go. It's gonna kind of take a look down in his feet. You can position him nicely here. You know, he got a nice base, especially if you did get the deluxe version with the huge head of this giant troll. It's awesome. That base looks great. And let's light him up. I don't know, for some reason when I light him up and the light just shines on his face, creates this nice shine, it just reminds me more of the movie. It's just great coloring and good paint application there. As you can see, he is in good size with Gandalf and Thranduil. He looks taller, mainly Thranduil. I mean, mainly it's because he has some body armor. Look at that on his shoulders, so that's why he's a bit taller. He looks taller at least, but he's not that tall in reality. But it's still a nice looking figure. They just look awesome. And this is him with the cloak on. I think he looks better with a cloak on, honestly. It just reminds me more of the Fellowship of the Ring, which is one of the best movies ever. And at first I was kind of scared putting this on, because I was like, I'm not gonna take off his quiver. You know, it looks like it's tightly snug on his body, but I was like, I'm not gonna go through that. But it's actually very functional. It's very easy, so don't be intimidated to put this on. All you gotta do is basically pop off his head sculpt. You pop it off. There's a hole in the back, and I didn't think of it that way. You know, obviously that's why I don't make toys. There's a hole in the back where you can kind of slide on the quiver, and that's it. You know, you don't have to remove anything, because I was used to Bane, that you got to remove his entire vest for him to wear a shirt, and I was like, I'm not gonna go through that with this guy. But knowing what it is now, so you can see the hoodie, you just kind of got to position it a little bit, you know, because it's hitting the way of the quiver and all that stuff. His hair, it does have a wire on it, so it would stay nicely put if you can just kind of position it nicely. And so look at those details, and you just futz it around, you'll get the nice drape of this one, because the material is really soft and light, so you don't get this bunching effect. You know, typically when you have a heavy set of fabric, as you can see that on different capes, that's why there's always an avenue for customizer of capes, but not on Asmus, because they use this really light fabric that it would just drape naturally, so it does have that nice look. I can't wait to take pictures of this guy too. As soon as I'm done, you know, I got a few more videos to do. Got Dante coming up, and that should be it, guys. Hopefully this video helps you out in deciding whether you want to pick him up or not. I highly recommend this figure. I had so much fun reviewing this figure and also posting him around alongside with my Fellowship. Just be mindful, if you purchase this figure, you might, you know, go down that path where you just buy the entire Fellowship. And if you do, that is perfectly awesome. I hope you do. You know, I do get a lot of enjoyment looking at my Lord of the Rings. I love Marvel and DC, don't get me wrong, but I love other franchises as well. You know, I have such deep appreciation with kind of, at least Lord of the Rings. I'm a big fan. So hopefully this video kind of clears up any doubts, you know, when it comes to this figure. It's an amazing figure. Honestly, it's such a blast, and the head sculpt is great. Posability, you name it. Accuracy, it's all there. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments down below. And if you want to purchase this figure, you know, just click on the link. It's still available. You got the two versions. You got the deluxe version. If I gotta redo it again, I would have picked the deluxe version, because it, like I said, the base is pretty awesome. And thank you for watching, guys. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Like this video, share it, and if you haven't followed me on Instagram, go ahead and do so. The link is down below, and also on Facebook. And I'll see you guys in the next review.